Hey everybody, it's Kofi here, and I want to speak to you about one of the most talked about and sought after food truck businesses in the great city of Orlando, Florida. And that business is none other than Chicken Fire. Now, if that name doesn't capture your attention on its own, then I can almost guarantee you that its mouth-watering Nashville-styled hot chicken menu will. But don't take it from me. Listen to the originator himself. Joining me now is owner and founder of Chicken Fire, who also happens to be my brother, Mr. Kofi Boakye. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Kofi. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to hear from you. It's good to hear your voice, and it's also great to see the great things that you're doing in the great city of Orlando, Florida. Can you tell us a little bit about what Chicken Fire is doing out there?
With Chicken Fire, our goal is to be everyone's favorite place to eat chicken. We specialize in making a type of chicken called Nashville-style hot chicken, and we specifically call it soulful hot chicken. The reason we call it soulful is because for us, it's the intersection where passion meets purpose. The passion part of that is everything that we put into our food, the love and the creativity, how we treat everyone that we encounter, how we treat one another, how we exemplify the standards that we're seeking to set. And that purpose is to bring the true lost art of Southern hospitality back into the restaurant industry, where I feel like a lot of places have gotten away from that, and a lot of people are being treated as a transaction instead of a person. And I want to bring that back into this industry where people know that they're cared about, where they know that a lot is going into the food that's being prepared for them, and they're always going to be served with high quality every time. So we don't just make chicken, we're here to create an experience for people.
I gotta know little details about what you are providing on your menu, man. Can you talk to us about what Chicken Fire is really giving you guys?
Of course. So with our menu, we keep everything extremely simple. We focus on putting out the highest quality offering that we can and making it easy for you. So one thing that I always recommend for people to go for in our menu is the hot box, which gives you a little bit of a tour of our menu. With that, we serve you 2 of our jumbo buttermilk fried chicken tenders at the heat level of your choice, which ranges from soulful, which is perfectly seasoned but no heat, all the way to hot, which is straight fire. Be warned, it really is fire, and had people get the hiccups over it, have a little trouble breathing, kind of have the snot running out their nose, tear-inducing. So it is pretty intense. And along with that, you get a slice of fresh baked bread from local bakery, Old Hearth Bread Company, which has been around here in Orlando for 51 years, using craft old school techniques and methods to make all their bread. And then we take it further, we pair it with pickles, some crinkle cut french fries that we sprinkle with a little bit of sea salt, some fire sauce that we make from scratch ourselves, and our creamy buttermilk coleslaw, all to temper the heat of that chicken and really make the flavors explode.
So for somebody that has never had Nashville-styled hot chicken, how would you describe what it is to them?
I would say that our chicken, and Nashville hot chicken specifically, in the way that we make it, it's the perfect blend of salt, sweet, and heat. So we start with a base of our golden brown buttermilk fried chicken that's then doused in a hot oil glaze that's mixed up cayenne pepper, brown sugar, and a secret blend of spices that I can't tell you about. Then we serve that over a slice of fresh baked bread and top it off with pickles. Once you sink your teeth into it, you'll find every single bite is magical. Literally, you sink your teeth into crisp breading, and then immediately it intensifies that experience because you get a rush of sweet heat from that hot glaze. And the heat is true. It's a steady and flavorful rise that leads you to the tender, juicy chicken, and then that heat pulls you in, but it's that flavor of the actual chicken that's going to keep you coming back for more.
Man, you got me ready to go get some Nashville-styled hot chicken right now from Orlando, Florida. I'm not even there right now, but I want to make a flight there as we speak.
We'll be here all the time, so we're not planning to go anywhere anytime soon. So anytime you make it down here, we'll be ready for you.
That's perfect. You can find out more information about Chicken Fire and everything that they're doing in the great city of Orlando, Florida at Eat Chicken Fire on Facebook and Instagram. And also, if you're in the Orlando, Florida area, be sure to visit them. Go check them out. See what they're doing, because every Saturday in November and December, prior to their grand opening on January 1st, they will be at the Red Light Brewery right there in Orlando, Florida. Kwame, always a pleasure. Thank you for stopping by and talking about your business.
Hey, thanks for having me. See you soon.
At the age of 19, artist Damoyee Janai has accomplished more than what most musicians will accomplish in their entire careers. This incredibly talented multi-instrumentalist and vocalist has played all across the nation on big stages and festivals such as the New Orleans Jazz Festival and the notorious Hotel Cafe in Hollywood. But aside from being a Downbeat Student Music Award winner, silver medalist at the 40th annual NAACP AXO competition, and a 2-time recipient of the Outstanding Vocal Soloist Award at the Next Generation Monterey Jazz Festival, she's also my friend and a classmate who's a way better person than she is musician, by the way, if you can believe that. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and welcome to episode 3 of the Kofi B podcast. And welcome to the Kofi B podcast. My name is Kofi Boakye. I'm your host with the most. Be sure to add me on all social media platforms at KofiBMusic. KofiBMusic.com is where you can find all the updates of everything that I'm doing right now. But this is not about me right now, because I have a very special guest with me. We have the multi-instrumentalist, the very talented, the amazingly talented, and also a fellow colleague of mine here at Berklee College of Music. Miss Damoyee Janai is here. How you doing?
I am doing good today.
It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for doing this for me.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, how are you doing here now that you're here at Berklee and everything? What's this experience been like for you?
Berklee. I mean, I love it here, especially the community. I love how everybody, regardless of their instrument and principle, or major, genre, minor, you name it, everybody's so supportive and uplifting of anybody who is building a name for themselves in the industry, or currently working in the industry, or trying to work on themselves as producers and songwriters and composers. Like, I love how everybody is just so supportive here.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, so you're coming from Dallas, right?
Dallas, Texas.
Yeah. So, I mean, Dallas, Texas is known. I mean, it's such a great artistic area too. I mean, so has that been a transition for you being in Dallas and now being amongst peer groups that are talented like this, or has it kind of been like you're at home?
I mean, it kind of feels at home. I mean, I've met a few indie artists here at Berklee. I know in Dallas we're infested with so many amazing indie artists and even big name artists as well, like Erykah Badu,
right? Yeah.
Some members from Snarky Puppy like Michael Lee,
yeah.
Nora Jones. I mean, I feel at home. There's some pretty amazing artists here too.
Yeah, you know, it's really cool that you're here and everything, and that, I mean, me being from Ohio, I didn't necessarily have all the musical guys or the gals that were super talented in my peer group. So coming here, it's been an adjustment, but it's been comfortable because I'm now here amongst so many people like yourself that are doing great things. So how did you necessarily get your start doing all this?
Well, I'm gonna go all the way back to age 2.
Age 2.
So my mom had exposed me to Sesame Street.
Yeah.
And whilst watching the show, I used to replicate the rhythms that they would have like in their songs, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will never forget that song. that was my favorite from the show. But she would see that I would replicate like the different rhythms and the melodies and the harmonies, and so my mom and dad put me in piano lessons really early while I was in preschool. And from that point on, I started, picking up on different instruments, started working on not only just playing the piano, but also easing into composing and then singing and songwriting. And then here I am today.
You are doing so many great things.
I mean, music is something that, I've just always known. Like, I haven't chose it, like it chose me, you know?
Right. So in doing all these things at such a young age, I mean, I look at your whole bio. I mean, you've done more than most people ever do in their entire music careers. What was one moment for you that was super, impactful to you?
Super impactful. I would say my third album.
Your third album.
My third album.
This one that just came out.
The one that just came out.
Yeah, and what's the name of that album, just so I can know?
The Whole Truth.
The Whole Truth.
Whole Truth.
Nothing but the truth.
Hey.
Yeah, I listened to that. I love that. I love everything that you're doing in that album, and I listened to the previous ones that you did too. So it's really cool to see the growth in this album from previous albums that you've done and everything. For me personally, just listening to it and everything. What was the inspiration behind this?
So The Whole Truth embodies a series of life events that occurred over the past couple of years in my life. I was dealing with the pain and upset of broken relationships and other personal issues. I was also overcoming some past struggles and dealing with new bullies in my life. And in the midst of all of that, I was trying to establish myself as a music artist in my community and among my peers. Being that I'm not just a musician or a singer or a composer, I'm all of that and then some, but that makes it even more challenging to find a place or create a line in a world that can be so cookie cutter, you know?
Right.
I've never felt like I've had to prove myself. I mean, I let my work speak for itself. But it's hard sometimes to get people to understand exactly what it is that I do. And that's important in order for me to make a living doing my art.
Right.
I just got to stay on my own journey and keep writing my own story.
Right.
You know?
That's amazing.
So overall, The Whole Truth is, well, about my journey up to this point. And each song represents an event or person that is a part of my story.
How long did it take you to make something like this?
The whole truth, I actually started writing it right after I had finished studio time with From the Bottom of My Heart. I think Invisible was the first song that I wrote.
Invisible was the first song you wrote. And so when you're writing, I mean, and you're creating music, what's the first, I don't know, what's the setting for you that's ideal for you to create?
For me, I like to be in my room, lights off with the little fairy lights, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Dimly lit, and then I just sit at the keyboard and play what I feel.
Just play what you feel.
For all of my songs, I usually start with music first.
Okay.
And then the lyrics kind of build up naturally on its own.
Okay. So you start with the music first, then you go to the lyrics. Okay. So this new song that you have right here, Change, that I've been listening to, I mean, the lyrics are impactful in its own right, but what was the inspiration behind creating something like this?
Change, out of all the tracks on the album, I'd say was definitely the hardest to write and finalize. You know, going back to what I said, you know, growing up, especially in like public school, I was bullied a lot. I was surrounded by a lot of people who really didn't appreciate music or art or any forms of art the way that I did. And, you know, it really broke my heart at the time. And so, you know, I prayed in high hopes that I'd be surrounded one day by people who would truly appreciate and hear things the way that I did. And so, you know, that ended up happening like really slowly. I mean, things started really looking up. Like, I auditioned for this high school in Dallas, Texas, Booker T. Washington High School, for the Performing and Visual Arts. And I got in, and there, you know, I was just surrounded by so many creative individuals. And 4 years of that, and then I apply for the one school I've dreamt of since freshman year. And now I'm here on a full tuition scholarship.
That's amazing.
And I am surrounded by so many like-minded individuals who, you know, not only appreciate just all forms of music and art, but, you know, challenge each other to do better and motivate each other. And so Change sort of, you know, embodies that transition from being in a dark place in my life to this amazing positive reality that I'm in right now.
Right.
So,
you know, I think the beauty about what we all do, but especially what you are doing is really you're bringing people onto this journey. I mean, this is more than just an album to me. I mean, this is a story to me. This is a book. You know, this is something that is really showcasing, hey, this is where I was, but now look at who I am. It's something that's inspiring, especially for somebody like myself that looks up to what you're doing. I mean, you're doing great things out here, and I mean, to see what you were doing, and even the album release that you did back home in Texas. Can you just talk to me a little bit about what that was like for you, going back home, now being here in Boston, everything like that?
Well, going back, there was definitely a weather change. When I left here, it was around 58, 60 degrees, nice and cool. But when I went back, it was like 90 degrees.
Oh, my goodness.
But I would say it was definitely refreshing to meet with my old friends again and to contact my mentors from Booker T that I still keep in touch with to this day. And, you know, to have my old friends who are also on the album to help me with this album release, you know, putting it together. And we even had just one rehearsal the day of. And so to perform in front of not only just my friends, but my family, and to everybody who has supported me and uplifted me in some sort of way on my musical journey as an artist, it was definitely something very eye-opening and something that I just deeply appreciate.
That's amazing. So you have an upcoming performance November 17th in New York. Can you talk to me about that?
I do. I will be performing a 3-hour set along with two good friends of mine, Imani Roussel and Sophia Anello. Catch us at Berlin Under A in New York City. It starts at 8 o'clock and cover is $8. $5 at the door. Please come, please come.
That's going to be an exciting time. Talk to me a little bit about performing in New York for you. I know that you have recently done the Governor's Ball Music Festival in New York City.
Yes.
So what's that experience like for you to perform outside of being in Dallas and, even here in Boston? What's that like for you?
So Governor's Ball was actually an opportunity that I had received through the House of Blues Music Forward Foundation in Dallas, Texas. I had performed along with 2 other artists who are still good friends of mine to this day, T Starverse and Maresha, who is currently overseas in Berlin. Shout out to her.
Wow.
And shout out to T Starverse. Your music is amazing. You are a queen. Stay slayed. Governor's Ball, I would say that was a pretty interesting but really, really fun gig. I mean, it was really humid. Like, I didn't know, New York gets, humid like that.
Well, what time of the year did you go? Oh, you went in the summertime?
Yeah, in the, early summertime.
Oh, okay, yeah. I could see how it could be humid out there.
Yeah, Governor's Ball, it was really, really fun to, see some of my favorite artists, live while I'm there, on the cute little city music stage.
That's very cool.
VIP stage. I mean, it was a really, really fun time. And I'll never forget on that Sunday that the last festival day was closed due to weather predicaments.
Mm-hmm.
We got to meet Charlie XCX.
Wow.
And we got to interview her how as a female in the music industry, how she deals with struggles, people putting her down and not necessarily taking her seriously because she's a femme in the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that she speaks upon it is so insightful and eye-opening and motivating, and that's exactly what we need to do for other females in the industry. We need more producers, we need more composers and singer-songwriters to bring them up in the industry, and not just females, but and anybody and everybody, especially in our generation, in the youth. We need to motivate people to come in the music industry.
Right. So let me ask you this question, because now that you bring all that up and I see that that's something that's truly important for you, what do you see music or the platform of music being for you maybe going forward in the next 10, 15 years for you?
For me, my platform?
Yeah.
I would say the one thing that I will truly advocate for is bringing up not just my generation, but any forms of youth in the music industry. I mean, we need such diversity in our producers and composers and arrangers and singer-songwriters, you name it. That will always be something that I will always advocate for, is
Nice.
Diversity in the music industry.
Very cool, very cool. And that's awesome, and that's definitely what we need right now. Being here in the music industry and seeing it more, we definitely need some more representation in certain fields, and so I think it's great that you have that initiative for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about amazing female actresses and actors, I mean, you hear about Jennifer Hudson, you hear about Jada Pinkett Smith, and one thing that they all have in common is something that you have in common with them, is that you were a part of the NAACP AXO competition in San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you had to remind me when I met you. I didn't know that you were even in the competition with me, and you competed there and everything. So what was your category again?
Music composition.
Music competition. Music composition. Music competition. I've been thinking too much here, but no. And my category was instrumental contemporary, I believe. Mm-hmm. So what was that experience like for you being at the AXO competition?
For me, it was just amazing. Not only I was surrounded by my people, my family.
Yeah.
It was just, I would say, dang, the highlight of it all was definitely participating in the band for the event.
Oh, you did that. Okay, very cool. You played keys for it?
I played a key bass. I played key bass for it.
Nice.
And I would say definitely the networking opportunity that I had was definitely also a highlight within participating in the NAACP AXO competition.
Yeah, it's an interesting story with that. So I was supposed to play in the band for the final, the showcase and everything. But the woman that was the liaison for the Akron chapter, she missed an email for it. I was so hurt. Because I really wanted to do that. I really wanted to just play with everybody that was there and everything. So, but I'm happy to know that you were a part of it, because now I feel like I was a part of it vicariously through you. I'm still kind of sad about it, though. I really wanted to do that. That's okay, though. That's neither here nor there. So, of course, I've talked about what you do as an artist. what you've been doing lately and how you started and everything. But I gotta know who you are off your instrument and outside of this.
Off my instrument?
So I gotta know, what do you do for fun in your spare time? When you have spare time.
When I have spare time, I gotta say, I love me some Netflix.
What shows we talking about? now you're in my wheelhouse.
What's something I recently I love Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, okay.
I love Riverdale.
Now we're talking.
I do like Hulu too. I love Hulu.
Yeah?
I am currently watching Grownish.
Okay, yeah, with Yara Shahidi.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like I say, I really love TV shows, and for me, it's the soundtracks, and like the music applied to the TV shows.
So, do you find yourself, now that you're here at this school, do you find yourself analyzing the music in these TV shows a little bit?
Definitely much more.
Okay,
Yes.
I thought I was the only one. No, we were watching a scary movie a couple weeks ago, and I was in a deep sleep. Somebody woke me up and said, "Oh, the movie's over," and I was like, "Is it in the key of F?" I don't know why I said that either, but I was zoned out, man. So,
Hey.
But yeah. Where can people continue to follow your journey on what you're doing? Tell us the websites and social media.
You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where I'm most active at Damoyee Janai, and you can find my music on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Tidal. You'll find it anywhere. The Whole Truth out now.
Damoyee, thank you so much for being on. This was amazing. Thanks for taking the time, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you got coming up in the upcoming years here at Berklee College of Music.
Thank you for having me, Kofi.
Thank you again for tuning into the Kofi B podcast, but I do need your help real quick right here. Listen, if you like what you heard and you want other people to hear it, I need you to share this podcast, okay, on every social media site that you can think of, every page that you have, every post that you make. Just make your next one about the Kofi B podcast. We're doing a lot of great things here, as you can see, and I want to continue this trend going forward. And also, side note, college ain't cheap. So if you like what I'm doing here in these interviews and talking to these amazing people here at Berklee College of Music and abroad, donate. Go to my website, KofiBMusic.com/donate, and at a click of the button, you can be the savior to keep me here for the next 3 years. Be that person. I love you forever. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Kofi B podcast, and I hope that the rest of your day is just as great as you are. Peace, guys.